We get started. Once your petition is read, if someone who's representing the petitioner would come up to the microphone there, state name and home address. You can give a little bit more information if you'd like, and then be available for questions from the board. There is an opportunity for the public to have comment on the petitions. 5 minutes maximum. Has to be information that can be shared about the petition only, whether you are in favor or opposed to it. Both of these are area variances, and at this time we will have the clerk read the first petition. It takes 4 affirmative votes for any area variance or use variance to be approved.
Notice is hereby given that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Jamestown, New York will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, February 5th, 2025 at 5 o'clock p.m. in the City Council Chambers, Municipal Building, 200 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York, to consider the following. The application of Gerald Heald, 13 Juliet Street, Jamestown, New York, for an area variance to construct a 10-foot by 32-foot addition to an existing building currently used as a storage garage on parcel 387.12-2-36, located at 18 King Street in an R2 zone and owned by Gerald Heald. Section 300-0317F, accessory structures. In any R district, no accessory building shall exceed 720 square feet in area and have a dimension that exceeds 36 feet. Proposed structure is 32 feet by 40 feet for 1,280 square feet.
Is Mr. Heald here?
Yeah.
Please come up here to the table and the microphone if you would. Thank you. Could you state your name and your home address, please, and tell us anything else about the petition that you would like?
All right, name is Jerry or Gerald Heald. I live at 13 Juliet Street here in town, and I own the property at 18 King Street.
Okay. Mr. Heald, you, I think stated in your application that it was 6 years ago that you had the original building built, is that
Yes.
correct? And that was also based on a variance to not have any residents at that site.
Correct.
Are there any questions from members of the board?
If you're looking at it from King Street, it's on the right side, right? The addition you want to put on?
On the downhill side,
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's a big old hill.
Yep.
So you can only go as far as the
Right.
hill. No one's gonna build anything next to it, so there's a hill there.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Heald, this is a metal building. I take it you're going to, the addition is going to match what's already there?
Yep,
Is
they'll
that
all be same color, same style.
okay? And what about runoff? Because there is a hillside, as Mr. Panavieco said. How are you going to make sure that there's no additional water that goes down the hill to your neighbor?
I have gutters up and drainage tile going off the back.
That's going to go off the back?
Yep, and it's just woods in the back.
Okay. Any other questions from the members of the board? Seeing none, at this point, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak either in favor or in opposition to the application of Gerald Heald, please state your name and address if you would come to one of the microphones that are in the audience. One more time, if there's anyone who would like to speak on this particular variance, which is for an addition to a building at 18 King Street, please go to the microphone. Seeing none, at this point, I would ask the clerk if there's any correspondence to read.
We did have one correspondence. This is from a neighbor located at 10 King Street. To whom it may concern, I do not have a problem with Jerry adding onto his garage adjacent to my property at 10 King Street, and I am not able to read the signature, that I believe his first name is Tim.
Mr. Heald, do you know the name of the person who's at 10 King Street?
His first name is Tim, I don't know his last name.
All right, thank you. Any follow-up from members of the board? Okay. Seeing none, I would be looking for a motion on the area variance for a request to add to the 18 King Street building that is there now, that's used for storage only.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Mr. Panavienko has a motion for an approval of an area variance. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Mariglia?
Yes.
Mr. Panavienko?
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
And Chairwoman Detanto.
Yes. That application has been approved, 5-0. Please make sure that you see Mr. Scalise before you move forward so you get the proper paperwork.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We'll move to the second petition. Please read that.
The application for George Spanos, 3676 Crestview Drive, Mavis Point, New York, 14712, for an area variance to construct one 12-foot by 20.1-foot garage bay attached to the existing three-bay detached garage on parcel 387.13-5-7, located at 323 to 325 Palmer Street in an R1 zone and owned by Mark and Elizabeth Frederick. Section 300-0317E, accessory structures. In any R district, no part of an accessory structure shall be nearer than 5 feet to a side lot line or rear lot line. Proposed is 2.4 feet on the side yard.
Thank you. Representing the petitioner, please state your name, home address, and tell us anything that you would like to about that petition that you haven't already added into the packet.
George Spanos, I'm representing Liz and Mark Frederick, and I would like to add to construct a one-bay garage to the existing three bays to better accommodate their senior needs.
Thank you. Are there questions from the board on this particular petition?
Mr. Spanos, what are the other garages used for at this point that are on the property?
They are too narrow, you cannot open the door to, if you see the dimensions, it's 29 and a half, I believe. And so if you take the four walls, it comes down to about 9 feet, if that, and it's very hard to park.
What you're proposing, so it must, it's an addition to the 3 existing bays.
Correct.
So does it extend further back than the 3 existing ones? Is it gonna be flush with them?
Yes.
So the 3 existing bays are already 2.5 feet from the property line?
Less,
Oh, that's right, so you're just adding on
yes.
to the right or left of what's already there?
If you're looking at the garage to the right.
Okay, and then there's just woods to the right, right?
Any other questions?
Mr.
Right.
Spence, roughly how old are the existing garages?
Since the original construction of the house.
Are they in good condition?
Yeah. Reasonably.
Does that clarify for you, Mr.
Yeah.
Raymond? It was difficult to see from the street view, so again, it's going to the right of the existing and no closer to that side property line than the existing 3.
Correct.
And I think just a follow-up to Mr. Panavienko, or maybe it was Mr. Peterson, the garages as they stand, you can't put a vehicle in them because of the way the doors open. Is that correct?
But you can put the vehicle, but it's very hard to open the doors and get
Okay,
easily.
okay, so this addition would be so that a vehicle could go into the garage and be stored.
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none from the board, this is a time for public comment. Again, if anyone is in the audience and wishes to speak in favor or in opposition to this area variance request, please go to the microphone and state your name and home address. You have 5 minutes to make a comment. Again, one more time, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak in opposition or in favor of this variance request, 323 to 325 Palmer Street, now is the time. Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk if there's any correspondence to read into the record.
We do have one. January 30th, 2025. This is in response to a legal notice received on January 30th, 2025, published on January 28th, 2025, from the Zoning Board of Appeals, City of Jamestown, in reference to a variance to allow a 12-foot by 20.1-foot garage bay attached to the existing 3-bay detached garage on parcel 387.13-5-7. This parcel is found at 323-325 Palmer Street in an R1 zone and is owned by Mark and Elizabeth Frederick. I, William R. Johnston, do not have any objections to the approval of the variance requested by George Spanos for the construction of the garage described previously. Sincerely, William R. Johnston.
Thank you. And again, just a couple of clarifying questions. Is there asphalt where the new garage will be, or is there going to be some kind of surface that will allow it not to be?
It's an existing concrete pad.
Okay, okay. Very good. Any other clarifications? Seeing none, I would be looking for a motion at this point for the area variance request at 323 to 325 Palmer Street for an additional garage to be built with the side property line not to be infringed any more than the current garages are.
I'll make a motion.
Mr.
To
Maraglia?
approve it.
Thank you. Mr. Maraglia has made a motion to approve the area variance request at 323 to 325 Palmer Street. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. At this point, is there any clarification on the motion needed? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Maraglia?
Yes.
Mr. Panebianco?
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Chairwoman DeTonto?
Yes, that has been approved 5-0.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Make sure you see, again, Mr. Scalise for information. Seeing no other business, we are going to close this meeting at 5:12.